Game 5 is over. Thankfully, Game 5 has come to an end. The New York Knicks get the victory over the Indiana Pacers, 111 to 94. Yeah, 94 points for the Pacers. Just an awful night all around. Tyrese Halliburton couldn't have been worse. Uh, Andrew Nemhard couldn't have been worse. Aaron Nesmith couldn't have been worse. Not a night for the Pacers to be proud of. The best player in the game for the Pacers, probably Ben Matherin. But you just, they laid an egg. They played with zero desperation and energy. They they just didn't compete. The New York Knicks came out, played a very physical game, hit shots. Jalen Brunson came out with a determined effort from the very beginning, and the Indiana Pacers fall in a big way at New York, being outscored in I believe every single quarter. I don't think the Pacers won a quarter. The fourth quarter might have been even, but just all around a pretty poor performance by the Indiana Pacers. The bright spot is they still have a 3-2 lead in the series, and they're coming home on Saturday with a chance to earn a ticket to the NBA Finals. The tough part about it is if they don't win Saturday, all the pressure now falls on the Pacers in a game 7 in New York. But I thought there were just a lot of questionable moves by Rick Carlisle. It seemed like early on he made a statement to the starters by pulling them. The Pacers never got any kind of rhythm offensively. Everything was kind of forced. I think a lot of that, too, was the way the game was officiated. And I'm not blaming this loss on the officials by any means. But the Knicks got a lot of clutch and grab. They were grabbing, whether it was pulling on a jersey, whether it was just grabbing. There was one play where Bridges just basically put his arms around Halliburton and wouldn't let him make a cut. And there was a lot of that. There was a lot of grabbing, and they weren't calling it away from the ball. They just put the whistles away, let it be played physically. That plays to the Knicks' advantage because they are a more physical team. And it also takes the Pacers game of the cut and pass out of rhythm because now when a guy goes to cut, he's not able to make the cut or it's not on time. It's a step or two slow. The ball freezes. I just thought there were a lot of factors in this loss. None maybe more so than, in particular, Andrew Nemhard. Nemhard just was a total non-factor, had no business playing 27 minutes of this game. Actually, I should say no business playing 25 of the 27 because the last 2 minutes when the Pacers pulled their starters and put what I would call the scrubs, and I say that with respect, the scrubs in to finish it off, Andrew Nemhard should have been on the floor for those 2 minutes because that's how he played. And I I know it's not a time to panic, but I would seriously consider, if I am Rick Carlisle, starting Ben Matherin in game 6. Ben Matherin's been really good the last 2 games. He gives you a little more size in the lineup. You need that because you can't have Nemhard matched up against guys like Josh Hart and OG Anunoby. And that was the matchup almost all night tonight. And Nemhard can't guard Brunson. He can't guard Anunoby. He can't keep Hart off the glass. And he's not hitting shots. I'd say, you got to deal with some of the defensive liabilities if he's scoring offensively, and he's not scoring offensively. So there's no point in him playing. Matherin gives you some flexibility because he could guard any of those 3 guys, Hart, Anunoby, or he can match up with Brunson. So I just I didn't get Nemhard being out there 27 minutes. He finished a minus 25 in a game that was lost by 17. And at one point, he was a minus 26 in a game they were down by 16. So, just a poor performance from Nemhard. And what was with Obi Toppin? He finished with 11 points, but a minus 26. Um, He did it in only 18 minutes. 0 for 4 from 3. Halliburton, a complete no-show. 2 for 7 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, and finished with 8 points. Had a triple-double the other day, didn't have a single double in this one. Had 8 points, 6 assists, and 2 rebounds. Tyrese, you're the star. You've got to show up. You can't be a no-show in a game with this kind of importance. Jalen Brunson stepped up and showed why he is the star, why he is the leader of the Knicks. And Tyrese Halliburton decided to take the night off. Should have gone and watched a Broadway show. Brunson, 12 of 18 from the field, 4 of 7 behind the arc, 4 of 4 at the free throw line, and he finished with 32 points. Everybody that seemed to get in there for the Knicks was productive tonight. And, it's basically a thorough butt kicking at the hands of the Pacers. And the Pacers will have to bounce back from it. I think they will. I think they can and they will. I expected more tonight, but clearly this team was not in a closeout mindset. And you've got to be prepared. Going on the road, trying to eliminate a team, you've got to know you're getting their very best. And you've got to match that intensity, that effort. And they didn't do it. The Knicks took the game to them, attacked the basket. The Pacers had no answers. Went after offensive rebounds, and the Pacers couldn't control the glass. How many offensive rebounds did they end up with? 11, which doesn't seem like a terribly high number. But there were a couple that were key possessions when they got second chances and made them mean something. And the three-point shooting, which has been pivotal in every game so far in this series. And the Pacers, 10 of 30 for 33%, while the Knicks were, I guess the Knicks only ended up being 8 of 29. But it seemed like Brunson, well, other than Brunson, they didn't hit any threes, hardly. They were 4 of 22 outside of Brunson. But it seemed like Brunson kept hitting the dagger threes. But the Pacers couldn't control the Knicks around the basket. The Knicks were able to drive to the basket. They were able to just overpower the Pacers. I found it interesting. The fouls on shots, Pacers would drive, and they would have to fade away or fall away when they got fouled going to the hoop. While when the New York Knicks got fouled, they finished right through the contact and scored a bucket and got an and one. But overall, not a good night for the Pacers. Again, I thought Obi Toppin and Andrew Nembhard were disasters tonight. Neither one played worth a darn. And Tyrese Halliburton, probably one of the biggest disappointments of all, because he comes off that monster game and then goes on the road and just does not follow it up with anything. Now, I know that Rick Carlisle didn't play Halliburton the same number of minutes that he's been playing him. Halliburton finished with just 32 minutes. Normally, Halliburton is more of a 36, 30, 38-minute guy. But Jarris Walker, a sighting, the Pacers played 12 players. Rick Carlisle wasn't afraid to go deep on his bench. And then he was forced to put in Thomas Bryant when Bradley got hurt with that hip injury. But that was not a factor. The main factor tonight The Knicks were tougher, they were more physical, and they took away the Pacers' advantage in this series, which was the transition game. One reason they did it is they made buckets. And when you make buckets, now the other team has to take it out of the basket, and you give a chance to the other team to get back defensively. The other thing is they also force the Pacers to worry about getting rebounds, and that kind of bunches everybody up in the lane where they're not out running because you couldn't count on Turner or Siakam to get the rebounds. A lot of the rebounds were the longer rebounds the Pacers were able to get. Uh, Mitchell Robinson still is a force to be reckoned with down around the basket that the Pacers don't seem to have an answer for. He just pushes people around, and he does it legally. I mean, he just kind of leans on them and moves them out of the way. But Pacers lose. It's on to game 6. That'll be at Gainbridge Fieldhouse down in Indianapolis coming up this Saturday. Hey, the bright side is we get some weekend NBA basketball because we're not going to see any Western Conference basketball, so we get some basketball on Saturday night. The the bad part of it is the Pacers now have to win that home game to earn a ticket in the NBA Finals. Have a great Friday, everyone.